waking up super confused as to why I was in the ICU in summer of 2016. Now, this isn't the ideal way for me, or really anyone, to spend any given season or time of their life. And this wasn't very fun for me, especially after getting my wisdom teeth taken out only 3 weeks previous and breaking my leg 2 weeks prior. Now, at this point when I'm in the ICU waking up, I start to question everything. What even is a blood clot? Why are the doctors and my parents telling me that I'm fighting for my life? And how can I only be 16 years old being affected by something that I thought was impossible for me to be affected by? At 16, I thought I was invincible. But I learned my reality very quickly, and I discovered later in that day that I had an 8-inch blood clot in my left leg, as well as multiple pulmonary embolisms in my lungs. The moment that I realized this was something that was going to be life-changing for me was when I was diagnosed with the blood disorder that is commonly known as Factor II, but medically known as chromosomal genetic mutation disorder. In other words, my DNA is a little whack, which makes things really hard because it clots and freaks out, which is deadly to me whenever it possibly can. I am 1 in 2 million people, but these were the cards I was dealt. And after an array of procedures, surgeries, and ultimately visits with my current hematologist, I learned to overcome these challenges that I was faced with. My favorite part about my time spent in the hospital, especially ICU, was the fact that day turns to night and night to day, and sometimes you can't really tell the difference between the two. Overcoming challenges or accepting successes and failures within our own personal lives is a hard task for anyone. Challenges do not discriminate against any type of person, whether your race, your gender, or where you are in your life, and either do blood clots. Does anyone have a childhood fear? Something that still haunts you to this day, something that you're still scared of? I grew up with the horrible, crazy fear of needles. I would go into the doctor's office for my flu shot, and I would be crying, hiding under the table at 15 years old. After I had my blood clot, I was diagnosed with my disorder, and everything happened with me. For 3 months out of being out of the hospital, I would give myself shots twice a day for those 3 months period of time to prevent my IVC filter from blocking up at the entrance of my heart in my superior vena cava. And for me, I overcame this fear. I was presented with a challenge in life, and I could either face it or run back and negatively react to it. This was all during the summer of 2016, as I mentioned previous. So I was just about to spend my junior year of high school dealing with the worst medical experience of my entire life, which was really difficult for me at the time, especially because I had a broken leg and I couldn't really walk very well either. They say that junior year is supposedly the most important year of a student's life, both academically and socially. And for me, I was more than scared to go back to school after having this rough summer that presented itself to me. But after a certain amount of time, I took a step back, and I stopped feeling sorry for myself. I realized what had happened to me, and I said these words to myself. I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, and I woke up that morning. I'm doing the things that I thought were impossible, and that in itself is incredible. So, throughout my topic and my talk, I will be reviewing the 3 steps that I personally have used to overcome challenges in my life, wherever they present themselves. And this is step number 1. It's taking a step back, realizing what had happened to me, and moving forward to answer the question of, what's next? With this positive mindset and this energy, I was able to overcome one of the hardest times of my life and proceed into my junior year of high school. Now we move on to end of second semester, beginning of first semester kind of time, and I decided it was time for some life changes. So naturally, I quit my job at a local retail store in the mall, which I absolutely hated, and I decided to seek out a more exciting form of work. Here I am, 1 year later, working for none other than California's favorite burger place, In-N-Out. And I can truly say I love and hate my job. I love my job because I get to stand up here and tell you about all the fun stories that I've had. The fact that I work with some of my best friends. I make relationships with my coworkers, and as an 18-year-old high school student, I'm able to move up in the company and receive raises, even though I have little to no experience within an education or a higher academic achievement other than graduating high school soon. But the worst, because In-N-Out has challenged me both mentally and physically in ways that I didn't think were possible. I could probably stand up here and talk to you all for hours about the crazy times and stories that I've had at In-N-Out, but we'll shorten it down to one Friday night. Picture this. An 18-year-old girl who had never been left responsible to work the french fries before in her time of working there was left alone to work the french fries for 3 hours after a high school basketball game rush. I was sweating, literally sweating, and internally I was kind of freaking out. But I decided to not let any of that show. I was smiling, I was laughing, I was encouraging my coworkers to do the same, and I even got my boss to laugh at a few of my jokes that I made. It is with that positive energy that I was able to get through a crazy shift at my workplace. I also decided to take the step to step out of my comfort zone, and knowing that I was having to fake it till I made it, I made the best of the situation. I stepped out of the box that I had built for myself, and I let whatever happen, happen. Sometimes in life, we need to give ourselves that grace to be able to let whatever needs to happen, happen. This is step number 2 of overcoming any challenge that I faced in my life. It's being able to step out of my comfort zone and confidently say, I can do this. I've been prepared for this, and I'm ready for this. Nothing can flourish where there's comfortability, and it's the same for humans. So in order to grow and flourish and succeed, I found that it is essential for myself to step out of my comfort zone whenever the opportunity presents itself. So I'm horrible at math. Horrible at math. I'm an English person, and I'm a history person, and I have an undeniable passion for public speaking, just like I am right now. And my decline really started in the 6th grade. I'm a perfectionist, so I don't like that I'm not good at things. And for me with math, knowing that I wasn't good and knowing that I was struggling in different areas made me less attracted to trying to receive help. My 6th grade math teacher and my peers would try to help me understand the material or help me recover after a test I didn't do so well on. But I felt so embarrassed and so stupid that I just rejected the help. So now the end of the semester is starting to close during my 6th grade year. My grade in math is declining, and I decided it was time to fix the issue. So 2 nights before my math final, I actually sat down with my parents and I said, I need some help just going over my study guide, understanding what the material is, and I need to help you get help to figure this out. I put in a little bit of extra time, I put in a little bit of extra work, and if you want to know what I scored on that math final, it was 100%. Not because I cheated, and not because I wish I would get a certain grade, but because I stepped out of the comfort zone that I had built for myself and the bubble of perfection that I tried to create for myself with math, and I did something very simple. I asked for some help. Now we're going to flash forward to my junior year, after all my medical stuff has happened. One day in my HL English class, I broke down in tears, hysterically crying, because I had just found out I had gotten an F on a test that I thought I had gotten an A on in math. Newsflash, Sam still hates math. So, as a perfectionist, I'm freaking out over my grade and freaking out at the fact that I had just failed this test. My teacher, still to this day a caring, amazing woman, pulled me aside out of class gave me a hug, and looked me in the eye and said these words to me. We have to give ourselves some grace in life. There are so many factors that are unaccounted for, especially in a high schooler's life. There's the stress of school and the things that we don't consider or account for when we plan our weeks or our days. So we have to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. If we don't, we're only failing ourselves. So for me personally, this is step number 3. It's to take everything with a grain of salt and realize what's going on, but also give myself the benefit of the doubt because I'm doing the best I can. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry, and it's okay to cry. Heck, I cry a lot. But what it's not okay is to throw in the towel and give up just because it got a little bit hard for you. I know for me personally, I try and put my heart and my soul and my passion into everything. And if you can do that and you still fall short, you should be proud of your accomplishment of stepping out of that comfort zone and giving yourself that benefit of the doubt. Charles Lee Swindoll said it best. Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you choose to react to it. If I can make the choice to react to something in a positive way, even if it's negative or bad news, I know that I'm going to come out on top because I chose to react to the situation in the way that I want to lead my life and the direction that I want to go in my future. Gandhi said that we have to be the change that we wish to see in the world. If you can immerse yourself within the community and give yourself to something that is larger than you are for a couple hours every week or even month, not only what you're working for will benefit from it, but personally, you will benefit from that. Pageants have always been a really big part of my life since a young age. I think I was around 5 years old when I became interested in them, and I was not allowed to compete in them. I was in dance class and gymnastics at the time, and I wanted to do something more. I was a girly girl, and I loved being on stage, and I loved playing dress-up, so I thought this was the perfect thing for me to do. Unfortunately, my parents disagreed with me, and they thought that I would not learn the valuable tools from a young age that pageantry had to offer. I was 14 years old when I competed in my first pageant, and I was hooked from the very moment I stepped on stage for my areas of competition. I look back on it now, 18 years old, and I can thank my parents because pageants have not only taught me just how to walk or talk or dress. They've taught me how to financially save money for something I really want to work for, which I'm currently doing right now. They have taught me the meaning of hard work, that you can give 100% of your effort throughout the entire time of preparation, and you can still come home with absolutely nothing. Losing a pageant has got to be one of the most humbling but depressing situations that I've ever faced that I repeatedly choose to continue doing because I crave it. I crave what I get from losing because I know when I come back, I'm going to come back stronger and better than ever, and I will fix the flaws that I had previous. Pageants have taught me that I can push hard mentally and physically, but they've let me know what my mental strength capacity is, and I've learned more about myself than I ever thought I would in my entire life. I have chosen to take a stand against my blood disorder. As I said previously, I am 1 in 2 million. But I am not defined by my blood disorder. My blood disorder is defined by me. I am the face to blood clots here in my city and to people that are in the blood clot community because I have taken a stand. I work with the National Blood Clot Alliance to advocate and educate those around me on the dangers of it, so hopefully I can save a life too. I've made it my goal to go into my future with this plan because I want to change the lives of others. I want to give myself the benefit of the doubt, and I want to use what has happened to me to benefit other people in a variety of ways. I don't stand up here sharing my story for a cry of help or for your sympathy. I share my story because I'm happy. I share my story because I'm a survivor. And something really tragic happened to me, but I used that situation to make something positive out of it. Last night I was driving home from a rehearsal for my school's Mr. Wolfpack, which I will actually be going to attend 5 minutes after I finish this talk. As you can see, I do lead a very busy life, but as I was enjoying this quiet time with myself on the road home to my house to sleep for the night, I was thinking about a few things about myself that I think are really awesome tools that everyone should do and reflect upon. I love the stage, and I love being on stage. I still hate math. I love the fact that I can come up here and tell you all of my life story and not feel responsible for how you will react, but know confidently that what I am telling you is exactly what I want delivered. And I love this life that I've been given. So open the door a little longer for the stranger that is rushing to catch it. Smile at the girl that you see at the grocery store. And lead the best life that you could have imagined. Do something and leave a long-lasting legacy behind.